Billy Blair on the Fisch Bowl. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time to swim in the bowl with me.
I dig it, man. Thanks.
Absolutely. I hope the temperature is just right.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. I just wanted to say that I'm a huge fan of your work, and I appreciate the follow on Instagram and friending on Facebook. I really I love your work. I've been following your band as well.
Thank you, man.
On social media, and I also interview musicians and stuff with this show. So I just want to say thank you again for taking the time to talk with me.
Well, man, the feeling's mutual, man. Thank you. I'm really flattered.
Awesome. My first question I wanted to ask you is, what got you interested in film?
Well, when I was a kid, I always liked going to the movies, and then afterwards, of course, you know, when you're a kid, you're with your buddies, you portray what you saw, and then you go to your house, and then you play that, you know, like make believe, like whether it's cowboys or Indians or in our case, it was Star Wars. We're like Star Wars freaks. But first came music. I was always wanting to be a so-called rock star. Till like the 90s, mid-90s, I was like, man, you know, I want to get into acting. It's just that thing, like I want to try it. So luckily, when I did that, I knew a friend of mine. He was a DJ at a rock bar that I used to go to. He was in film. So I went to a movie premiere. I figured that'd be the best start, is to go at some local filmmaker here to one of his movie premieres. And he was there, and he's like, wow, what are you doing here? You're interested in film? I said, yeah, you know, I want to try it out. So long story short, he took me under his wing, and he was teaching lessons. I took his class. He showed me everything. I mean, prior to that, I took theater in college, so that helped a lot. But that was theater, and this was film, and I wanted to be in film. So he took me under his wing, and we did a short together, won an award, and then I started doing other like independent film, local filmmakers out here, and then he got me my first agent, and then for a while I wasn't hearing anything off my agent as far as like auditions, anything. And at that time I didn't care. I jumped back into music, and I got into it hardcore. I was touring and must have gotten signed a few times from that point on. And then all of a sudden I get this phone call from this guy that replaced the guy that was representing me at the agency. I'm still with him today, but at the time he just seemed like a very arrogant, cocky bastard. He still is. But that's okay, man. He gets shit done. So he was like, hey, I'm taking over so-and-so, and I see, you know, you see on the roster that you're on here, and I'm just meeting with everybody that he had or he was representing. Can you come in? I go, yeah, sure. So I go in there, and he's younger than me. So, of course, I had an old headshot, and everything was just not up to date. He goes, how about this? He goes, I'm going to give you a chance to go update your headshot and your resume, and then we're going to submit you. And I mean, this is the way he says, yeah, we'll submit you. If you don't strike anything, we're going to let you go. And at that point, I was like, I don't give a shit anyways. I want to be a rock star. So lo and behold, man, I did everything, updated everything. He sends me off to my first audition. It was for a commercial, and I got it. It was a Joe's Crab Shack commercial. And man, believe it or not, after that was a freaking snowball effect. And because of that guy, man, he believed in me, I guess. So I got Jonah Hex. After that, I got this, what was it, sci-fi movie channel, Mongolian Deathworm with Sean Patrick Flannery. I booked that, Machete. It just kept going. You start booking all these roles. And we're like, wow, this is fucking cool. And then the rest is history, I guess.
Awesome. I actually wanted to talk about some of those films, but the first question I have or next question I have to ask for you is actually who are some of your favorite bands?
Oh shit! I mean, Kiss started it for me, and then Motley Crue did a big impact when I was like I want to say 12, 13 years old. Because keep in mind, I wanted to be a tennis player when I was younger. I was destined to be a pro tennis player. And then I saw a Motley Crue video, Looks Like Kill, that changed it. That fucked me all up. I wanted to be a rock star. So those two bands made a huge impact on me. And then after that, bands like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Stone Temple Pilots, they did a huge impact in my life later in life. So I gotta say, like those bands, King's X, their harmonies, unbelievable. Those are the top bands I could really think of that I really, really, really enjoy.
That's awesome. I had a chance to see Chris Cornell with Soundgarden like on one of their like last tours. Well, one of their like
Yeah,
final tours, and
yeah, I saw that.
they came to Pittsburgh, and I just remember like being blown away because that was like what I grew up with in my
Yeah.
childhood, and I also I had a chance to see the new Alice in Chains, of course, not the original lineup, but I thought they still put on a phenomenal show.
Yeah, they're a great band now today. I mean, what he's got going on, but yeah, but nothing compares to the classic lineup. And
Right.
I never got to see that either. I was pretty bummed.
Yeah, I mean, Staley was something else, and I mean, Alice in Chains and Soundgarden are probably like my top two like favorite like I guess grunge like
Yeah.
alternative '90s alternative rock. I mean, I'm really into like Rage Against the Machine.
Oh yeah, yeah. By all means, I love them.
Dig that band a lot. I really do like Stone Temple Pilots. I'm actually pretty stoked because at the end of the month here in Pittsburgh, Bush and Live are coming.
Oh, I love
Which
those bands as well. I mean, Bush. I like that one album. Live, I love Live. But I wanted to put this out. What band? I forgot to mention a band. The band that really did a huge impact to me when that era changed from the late '80s and then early '90s. The grunge era was fucking Nirvana.
oh yeah,
Dude,
definitely.
I remember watching that video, Smells Like Teen Spirit, and I was with a group of friends, and we all just like, what the fuck is that? It sounded, because remember, like the 80s, it was just, everything was just so, how can I say, it was just the same old scream, and everybody
Right.
was screaming, and 80s fucking cock rock, everybody showing their crotch, and then all of a sudden you just get, Nirvana came out, bah, and I could just feel it in the air. It just changed within like a minute. The music industry just changed like that. Bam, just killed it.
I
If you know
I,
what,
I
if anybody knows what I mean, it's just like it was just simultaneously. It was just bam. Now we had grunge and '80s cock rock metal was gone.
I mean, by the time I was like, conscious enough to be like watching MTV, like the grunge era was like already in, but I still
Uh,
remember like, because I was born in '88, and
okay.
but I still remember like I guess the remnant of like Van Halen and Motley
Yeah, yeah,
Crue
yeah.
and
Well, okay, so I'm older than you, so of course for me, like I hate saying how old I am or admit how old I am, but I'm a '70s kid, so I went through the era, believe it or not, like disco. I remember it as a kid, and to the punk rock '80s, and then the new wave era, going through all that, and then of course transitioning over to the grunge and just watching that whole impact just change right before your eyes. It's just unbelievable. I'll never forget that. It was just like overnight.
my dad, like tells me stories of it because he was born in '58, and
Uh,
so he grew up with the whole like first like Motown
yeah,
and like the whole Chuck Berry and like the classic rock and roll into like being a kid with like Hendrix and
yeah.
Zeppelin and I mean one of his all-time favorite musicians that he got me into at a very early age was Frank Zappa, and I mean Zappa is something on a whole nother level that
Yeah,
like
man. That
you
was a
know
weird rock.
right
But the guy was brilliant. He
right
brought that shit in there, yeah.
and like the thing that I loved about him was that like out of all like the musicians from like that time that like I mean they put out some really great music and then they all kind of like sold out
Hmm.
and did like the whole dabbled into disco and then just like didn't really know like their then new a new music genre came in that kind of like replaced them and then they were like the old guys. But Zappa, he had that one commercial album with apostrophe, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna keep doing this, and he like evolved throughout the years, like up until his death. Like he went into like jazz and like all sorts of like weird different
Well,
genres.
yeah, he was definitely experimental. He experimented, everything. I mean, a guy that reminds me of him like today is freaking Mike Patton. Was another
Yeah.
band like Faith No More.
Yeah, I mean the band that like you could say from like the '80s into the '90s that really reminded me of him a lot was the Butthole Surfers.
Ah, yeah, I like them. See, there's so many bands. It's so hard when they say, "What's your favorite band?" I don't know. I got a few.
I mean, like the thing that like I see like now being like the trend in terms of like not like mainstream, but like in terms of like what I'm seeing like with rock. I mean, there's like psychedelic rock is just getting like better and better. Like I really feel that. I've interviewed a few bands. I mean, like two of my all time favorite bands, which is a totally different genre, is like the Brian Jonestown Massacre and the Dandy Warhols.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely.
And like I love like my two favorite genres of rock are it's like contrasting each other. Like I really like shoegaze and dream pop, and I also really like hard rock and like not like shouting metal, but like old school like Black Sabbath
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
sounding metal.
But I mean, there's so many. Same here, man. I like all that. There's times where I'm in a mood to listen to old school country, like fucking what's his name?
Johnny Cash.
With Johnny Cash and another favorite was man. He was in Smoking the Bandit. Jerry Reed, is that his name? Yeah,
Yeah,
Jerry.
yeah.
Old school stuff like Urban Cowboy movie, the soundtrack, that kind of stuff. Because I grew up with that stuff. But going back to what you were saying, like everybody was jumping like to disco. I mean, history kind of repeats itself. Like every genre has that where they want to jump the commercial wagon. And I get it. It's just they want to better their career. I mean, by all means, the music industry. It's the worst fucking industry out there ever, man. Like as far as business. So you want to do anything that's going to benefit you, but you still want to keep that edge,
Right.
But it's the same thing like today, good 10 years ago, I guess, when what do they call it? Dubstep came out.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody started jumping the dubstep sound. Like Korn did it, a whole bunch of bands did it. So it's the same thing. History repeats itself.
Right. And I'll do you one further on that. A genre that like I'm seeing like emerging right now. That like a lot of bands are following it, and it's not just like this psychedelic trend, but it's like the classic rock trend also, and it's like a genre that I'm kind of calling like retro '60s revival because it sounds like it came from the '60s or '70s, but like it has that like updated sound.
Well, again, history repeats itself, but for some reason, it's just like that genre, that kind of style of music will never die because they've been doing that way back. Even through the '80s, it was hinted in there.
Hmm.
Even in the '90s, it was still hinted in there. And
Right.
now you hear it today. It's just, I mean, make no mistake, that was just what an era that was. It was the music, just the impact. It made you feel good. That's where all the experimental shit came from. I mean, look at the Beatles. They created that. So that shit ain't gonna die, man. Not at all.
Definitely, I definitely agree. I mean, I interviewed a band last week called the Kundalini Genie.
I like that.
And these guys are awesome. Like I'm finding that there's like this whole community of like psychedelic, dream pop, shoegaze musicians, and like the UK, like European area. Like the next band that these guys are really friends with, and the way he phrased, like, cause I asked him, like, cause the other band is called Frankie Teardrop Dead,
I like that.
and like I asked, like, I want to get these guys on my show. I saw you guys play together. Like what are they like? And the way he described it was like something like if the Kundalini genie was like a dude and Frankie Teardrop Dead was like a chick, they'd be shagging.
I love it, man. I love how these people think. These musicians, they're so creative.
I know. And also big Star Wars fans.
Everybody's a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I'm a Trekkie and a Star Wars dude.
I was never a Trekkie, but although I did like the new generation when that came out.
Next Generation.
Oh, Next Generation. My bad. Next Generation. That was interesting. I like that.
Yeah, but
it's good to see. It's good to see that there's a new movie with him coming out.
Yeah, or like it's a new series bringing back Picard. I'm like, as soon as he's done doing Professor X, they bring him back, for Picard. I'm like, yes.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I'm really, really excited about that. I kind of just want them to, like, because I feel like the Star Trek movies haven't been the same since like they stopped doing it with Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, they did the reboot just like everybody else is doing. They just wanted to come in with a new, fresh face.
Right.
They had those from I don't know, it was J.J. Abrams that.
J.J. Abrams, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He did the new ones, right?
Yeah, he did. I know he did the first two. I think Simon Pegg took over with the writing for the third one. And that one felt the most like Star Trek, like a Star Trek movie than the other ones.
I guess they wanted him to do like, hey man, if you could make Star Wars like that, can you do it to Star Trek as well?
That's thank you. I didn't want to say it, but like, yeah, that's always been my feeling.
Yeah, you could tell, man.
Yeah, I'm like they did not have the right guy like doing that project, and I think that's why the movies aren't doing too well.
You know what? I'll tell you this. And I'm sure I can speak for a lot of people, especially Star Wars fans. It's like when J.J. Abrams or whoever decided to let the other guy, and I forget his name, it was a Chris or Brian, I don't know, the one that just did the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Let him take over. The fucker fucked it up.
I agree.
I hate to say it, because I heard J.J. Abrams' version of The Last Jedi was way better than what this one was. It was like, oh, that would have been great. I don't know if you knew about that or heard, but his version was going to be badass. So it makes sense that they like pulled the rug out of this. Who's the director's name?
Ryan. What is it? Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, something like that.
Ryan Johnson, something like that.
Well, that's AC/DC singer.
right. Yeah, it was Ryan something.
Hey, Brian Johnson, stick to rock and roll. Anyways, no, but that's why they pulled the carpet out of that guy. It's just like, let's just give it back to J.J. Abrams, man. He was doing good. So, but yeah, Last Jedi was supposed to be way better than it was. I mean, I don't know what your opinions on that, but I walked out like, what the?
Man, I went to school for screenwriting, and like now, like every time I go to see a movie, like my mind is like operating and like the screenwriting like format.
Yeah.
Like I'm like like the first time I go to see the movie, like I'm following it, but my mind is also like going, okay, here's a normal world, inciting incident. Point of no return.
Yeah.
Like the whole 7 plot points or whatever, and then like the next time I watch it, I absorb it more and like find new things that I liked about it that I didn't quite catch before. But when I saw that movie, like my screenwriter's mind just like totally tore it apart.
Yeah,
Like
you know what?
there's
No, you because when you're in the business somehow, whether you're a writer or an actor, you watch movies. Just it changes the whole perspective of watching. Instead of like enjoying it, you can actually like see the flaws or the mistakes, or you just look at it differently. Especially as a writer, or director, and an actor, whatever. You look at it. I look at actors in there and I go, could have done it better. You know what I mean? So you look at it in a different way.
Definitely. I mean, it just there was no continuity. Like
Yeah.
that was the major issue. Like, well, that was one of the major issues. On top of that, like they had that whole casino sequence was just like 40 minutes of like unneeded screen time because it had no validation.
You're right.
For their like cause for doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, man, what is that? Especially, there was another scene, I guess, what is it? I forget names. The black guy and...
Yeah.
Well, that whole scene, it's just like, what's the purpose of that? And I get it. I get what Disney is, they're all about I'm not trashing it, but they want to bring in the diverse, the characters and stuff like that. But it's got to make sense, though,
Right.
It didn't make sense.
I completely agree. Like, I mean, it just, there was too much going on.
Well, again, I don't want to get political or anything like that, but that's what it is on their world, because, I mean, I understand. Now, this is like another level, and I don't want to get there, but it's, I think they did it for, like, political reasons, like whatever was going on to the Me Too movement and everything else. They started bringing in that, and that sucks when they start putting it in movies, especially classic movies like Star Wars. They throw in all that in there, and anybody that doesn't agree with that, it's gonna mess it up for them.
Right.
If you know what if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying, and I also like my show's definitely not about politics, so I don't want to go there.
Take that shit out, man. And
I totally I know what you mean.
Okay, good. Because sometimes I can't put it in words, or I don't want to, but sometimes somebody's got to say it. But that's what it was. It's just like, look, not everybody's on that side, and don't fuck up my Star Wars movies.
Right. It's I think that movie and then the Han Solo movie that followed after that, which was terrible.
Yeah, here's the thing. I like the Han Solo movie. I think it was done good. I think it failed for a couple of reasons. One is what we're talking about right now, and a lot of people, and believe me, I look at those sites where the conservative sites, or not conservative, but just like news, just like political and stuff like that, when they start talking about, well, hey, they're bringing this into our movies, and then you read the comments, because that's where you hear all the realism, the real people talk. They're sick of it. So what they do is they boycott that. They don't go see the movies because of that reason, and that's a shame for the filmmakers or whoever's producing it. Is that they're messing it up for their audience, and it's going to fail for them. And lo and behold, it just did, and that's why they stopped making more Star Wars movies because of that. They shot their foot. You know what I mean?
I do, and I'm kind of happy that happened.
Yeah,
because like Star Wars movies are more of a treat.
Yeah,
they're not meant to be like, when I heard Disney was gonna like, when they first acquired the rights from George Lucas, they said they're going to make a new Star Wars movie every year.
Yeah.
For like, as long as they could, basically. And like I remember, because I was like, it was my senior year in college, and I was having this conversation with my friends of like, what do you think? And I went to see The Force Awakens. I liked it. I had a few issues with it. It felt like the first Star Wars movie we had that wasn't the prequels.
What is it? The New Hope? all over again.
Yeah, it felt like a Star Wars movie, but it was a mishmash of A New Hope and Empire.
Yeah,
And
yeah. You're right.
that was the only thing my major issue was.
What they did is like, let's get the ingredients that worked back then, and then they brought it to
Right.
this.
And the thing that gets me is that, like, they had all this source material to like work with, from the comics, the novels, like all this canon material, that was made since the first Star Wars movie came out in 70, what was it, 77?
Yeah, 77.
77, yeah. So you had like, over 30 years of new source material that all these authors, have written, and Disney just said, we're going to throw this all out the toilet, down the drain.
Yeah, you'd think somebody would be smart enough to just figure that shit out.
Right.
But again, it depends on who's ever at the wheel, It's up to them.
Right.
And then lo and behold, I mean, their agenda, their thought process, or what they believe in, they want to bring, they want to control that shit. It's I don't know. They just messed it up.
Yeah, and
it kind of makes you want to think, well, okay, well, what would George Lucas have done then? What was his vision?
Right, and I know they brought him in for this new one.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, J.J. Abrams apparently had conversations with Lucas about the direction to go with.
Well, that's kind of smart.
Yeah, I mean, like my opinion on Lucas is this, like, he's a great idea guy, but he's not the best writer.
Yeah.
Because if you look at like his greatest like film movies, like he's written the original story, but someone else did the screenplay.
Yeah, he's also not a good director for actors.
Right.
If you know what I mean. He's got the visual down. It's just when it comes to like we're just talking about dialogue, the actual dialogue, and then directing an actor, because it was horrible.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely agree. Agree. I mean, like, Empire was so great because, I mean, like, what was it? Lawrence Kasdan did the screenplay for Jedi and Empire. And I think they brought him back for The Force Awakens. I think him and his son, with J.J. Abrams, wrote the screenplay for The Force Awakens.
That's right.
And
that's why it kind of worked. I mean, everybody, it was a decent movie.
Right.
Like you said, there was a few things like, but it was a good movie overall. I mean, people were like, cool.
Right. And then the Last Jedi just totally, it flipped it.
Yeah, it's like, what happened?
Right. I mean,
so now it's like they got to make it better. Like, they got to fix it with this new one.
Right. Like, the trailer definitely got me interested. It looks better than the last one, the Last Jedi. It definitely looks better. I'm sure it was Lucas's idea to throw the Empire back in, because like they had that hint that the Palpatine or whatever is back.
The voice,
yeah, the voice.
That gave me chills, man. I'll be honest with you. I was like, all right.
Right. And I mean, I'm kind of now more excited. Like, I want to see this last one, but the thing that's gotten me like really excited is that they announced that the writers from Game of Thrones are gonna make a new trilogy that's like the Old Republic.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. They got to revive that, man.
Yeah, and I feel like with writers like that, hopefully, given creativity to do what they want to do, that could be something really great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for that.
Yeah, that I'm definitely looking forward to. I mean, I'm a big horror movie buff, so I'm really looking forward to that new It movie coming out, and also Dr. Sleep, which looks really interesting.
That's cool, man. A lot of people are doing like some good stuff with some horror movies, like the It. Even like Netflix had some cool ones. I like it when they incorporate like some humor in it. I think, God, what was it? It was not necessarily a horror movie. I guess it was, or a slasher movie, the Babysitter.
Yeah, I watched that. That wasn't too bad.
That was good.
That felt like an 80s kind of
Yeah,
like an 80s kind of movie.
yeah. I like that a lot. We kind of did. I don't know if you've seen the movie I produced and starring Cherokee Creek.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk to you about that because I'm like friends with Justin Seaman.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I actually I interviewed him twice now. Once last year at an independent horror con called Gross Fest, and they just had the second year of that like last weekend or the weekend before. And it was funny because I was interviewing him and I was talking about how I wanted to get you on my show because he was talking about that movie. So lo and behold, like I shot you an email on your website, and then you respond. Now you're on the show.
Oh no, it's great. I'm all about that. Yeah, absolutely. But that's cool, man. That you talked to him. But we did that. It was like let's do 80s style, make everything practical effects, and then put in a really, really good story in there. Not just a slasher movie just for the sake of gore. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're gonna combine Tarantino with Friday the 13th and a little bit of American Pie. So did you say you did see it?
Yeah, I did see it. I loved it. I'm a fan of like all their movies. I actually I interviewed Justin, and I interviewed Zane Hirschberger, who's the other like partner in the company, and I talked about his new film and some of the stuff Justin worked on. But Cherokee Creek was a lot of fun. I definitely dug it. I love the style, the humor. I mean, that's all what I'm about.
Well, thank you, man. We wanted to bring that in there, and we wanted to go full on, make it, what's the word? Risque, I guess,
Right.
Like, of course, the cock shot of the director, Todd Jenkins. He wanted to, he's a big movie fan. I mean, if anything, that guy watches all his movies and he does research. And he wanted to have it like a mutual thing where not only that we're going to show women, but we'll show the guy as well. But he's like, hey, man, there's a lot of movies out there that are showing cock. And I'm going to show my cock. I'm like, fuck that, show your cock. And I was going to do it too, man. I was just like, I'll do it too. But that scene, that sex scene I did, I don't want to trash anybody in the movie, man. Filmmaking is not always fun. It's really, really complicated, frustrating, more than having fun. And I think that's a good thing, man, because, like if you want a really good movie, you don't want it, it's not going to be all fun and under the sun kind of along the process. Because, I don't know. I just heard stories where if it's frustrating and throughout the whole, making the whole movie, you're going to have a good movie. And maybe and especially if you hang in there and finish it. Because if it's fun and you're too comfortable, then you get a shitty movie. If you know what I mean. I hope you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was not fun process. And then, the girls gave us a bit of a problem. So we're like, all right, I go, fuck it. It put me in a bad mood. And I'm like, I'm not going to show my cock. I was in a bad mood. I was like, me and Todd, we butted heads through not through the whole movie, but that particular, the wooded scene, the campfire scene. So I changed my mind on that. I just wanted to get it done and get the girl out. But yeah, so anyways, he wanted to create that. And then also, us putting in, the guy shitting in the woods. We wanted to go there. Let's actually show the shit. And then when he wipes his ass, I mean, we wanted to go there. What else did we do in there? The scene with the condom, that dude, I'm telling you, look, when we got that movie out, we got a lot of shit from a lot of people, a lot of like snowflakes, so to speak.
Right.
They were offended by it. Amazon was offended by it. That was a cool thing. That was a bittersweet thing with Amazon. I don't know if you heard about that story, but when we signed on to get it all these platforms. Amazon was included. It was Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, Vudu, and Fandango. Fandango pulled out from the big get-go. We're like, all right, whatever. They didn't want anything to do with our movie. But everybody else agreed. And we wanted it released on Christmas. Well, when Christmas came, iTunes got it out, Vudu, Google Play, nothing from Amazon. And it took a couple of days. We're like, what's going on with Amazon? Well, Todd, the director, he was on that stuff. I mean, the guy's on top of shit. So they just said to us, we find your movie offensive. And that was it. That's all they said. They didn't ask what was any other detail. They just said like that, and then they remained quiet. And he was pissed off, and oh my God. And I go, this is great, man, because we got something here. They're going against their word. They said they were going to release it. They're not living up to their agreement. So let's call them out. And this is going to be really good. Could get ugly, whatever it is. In reality, it's going to look good on our part. So we got on to all the horror sites and stuff like that, and that were really into our movie or, had great expectations for it. We said, hey, Amazon's banning it. And even though they said they were going to put it on there. So we had something here. And so we created this whole buzz, like, why is Amazon banning Cherokee Creek? So we got the news involved. We got all the horror sites involved, and people wanted a demand for an answer. And then, they would reach out to Amazon, and they even reached out to our distributor, and it brought in the heat. And so people were wanting to know more about Cherokee Creek, which was great. And got people wanting to see it. And then so we were like, all right, so whatever's offensive. We were thinking I don't know if you saw the intro and the outro of the movie. Me and Todd put on these hoodies on, and we're like, we say stupid shit. So anyways, in the movie, for Amazon, we took those out because we thought it was offensive, because what we say is very offensive. And a month later, it's up on Amazon. So we were thinking, okay, it was the kidnappers that were offensive. So if you go to Amazon, if you watch the movie on Amazon, you don't see the intro or the outro of the kidnappers, because we thought that was we took it out, and we thought that was what was offensive. But anyways, we took that out, and it went up on Amazon, and now it did pretty good. I mean, it did really good on our sales and rentals and stuff like that. So we're glad we did that. But it sucks if you watched our movie on Amazon, you're not going to see the intro and outro.
Right.
You'd be able to see it on iTunes, Vudu, or now we get it on Blu-ray. So did you see the movie on Amazon?
I actually bought it on Blu-ray.
Oh, okay, good, perfect. So you could see the intro and outro.
Yeah, I saw the whole thing in its entirety. I dig it.
Awesome.
I definitely dig it.
But it was cool. Like I said, all that hype of Amazon banning it, everybody wanted to see the movie. And and then I don't as much, but Todd always likes to look at the reviews and the comments and stuff like that. And sometimes you don't want to see all that, because you got a bunch of jackasses out there that trash your movie just for the sake of they want to be assholes. But hey, man, I always say what gets them talking,
Right.
Let them talk.
Definitely. We are just about out of time. I wanted to ask you 2 closing questions.
Yeah.
The first one is, what are some of your favorite movies in general? And the final question is, if you have any upcoming projects to promote.
Yeah, sure. Favorite movies. One that stands out that I love the most, I watch over and over again, is Big Trouble in Little China.
Great movie.
That's just a freaking great movie. The old Star Wars, I like that. Jaws, Donnie Brasco. God, I love that movie. Those are the movies that kind of just stick right out that I like a lot. It's the thing with the band stuff, like who's your favorite band? But those movies stand right out. Tarantino movies, except his Death Proof movie, I didn't like that. And then up and coming projects, you could see me in Rob Zombie's film.
Yeah. I wanted to do a quick just little insight on 3 from Hell.
Yeah. Well, you'll see me there, but you won't recognize me, if that makes any sense. I've been posting up. I posted up on my social media. I was able to do that because Rob revealed in the trailer how we look like. So I'm part of the Black Satans in the movie, and it's a gang. I don't want to get too much into that, but it's been kind of revealed in there. But Emilio Rivera is like the leader of it. But we got these lucha libre kind of luchador masks, and we all wear like white suits with ties. But everybody's got a different tie, and I never take the mask out, so I tell like the fans, like, the guy in the blue tie, that's me. But yeah, I got that coming out. That's all I could say. It's September 16th. You'll see it. I got a scene with Sherry Moon, which is pretty cool. Rob was really cool. What's another movie that's coming out? Oh, I'll be on Queen of the South, episode 11. That's in 2 weeks on USA, I believe. You see me in that. What I got coming out? Oh, Southland with Bella Thorne. I got a cameo in that. I don't know what else I'm coming out. Hey, see it on my IMDb. Go to my Facebook, Instagram handle, Billy Blair 2, Roman numeral 2. What else? Go to my Junk page, Junk TX on Facebook, Instagram. I got new music coming out. We're gonna come out with an album and a video. You know, just working.
Awesome. I just have to tell you this real quick, because I was really excited to interview and just tell you one thing I've been working on. It's a project I just started, but it's going to be a feature, and I'm just kind of like envisioning you playing this like vampire, kind of like inspired by like Ronnie Van Zant.
I like that.
You know, and it's going to be like, you know, an action vampire like road movie, and like I'm just like, I want to just tell you that like I'm on page 5 in it, so it still has a while to go, but
at least you're doing it. At least you started.
Yeah, you know, and I'm really on a roll with it too. So as soon as it's done, I would love to send it to you and hear what you think.
Dude, hit me up. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Billy, thank you so much for taking the time to swim in the bowl with me. We know the temperature was just right. I would love to have you come back anytime.
Let's do it again, man. Even, you know, maybe when 3 from Hell come out, we can do it again.
Definitely. You got it. You're on.
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right, man.
Thanks for having me on.
You too. Thanks.
Okay. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.